Good morning, Liz. Good morning.
I'm always afraid to make funny faces when the videos start because you never know how it's going to freeze you.
That's why I always sit here like this.
I know that was a bad call on mine to make funny faces, but here we are.
Hi, Liz.
Good morning.
Good morning. So our conference is 2 weeks from today. How did that happen?
How did we get here?
I don't know. It's super exciting though. I'm really excited. Tickets are still available. So if anybody wants one, go pick one up today because it's totally worth it. It's going to be amazing.
I keep looking at the lineup and I just can't believe how absolutely so amazing. Yeah.
I keep hearing about all these women who are like angry and I'm all, are you coming to my conference? Because it's going to make you happy. Like, and we're going to talk about anger. So it's going to be amazing. Like all these women are like, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. And I'm all, come to this conference. It'll make you feel like you have something to do. Like it'll give you something to do.
Well, then let's talk about rage. Yeah. Let's talk about being mad for a second. I think there's a lot to be mad about. And first, let's acknowledge that. And then we can move on from there to resolve whatever issues we have or make changes so that we don't have to be mad anymore. But let's not pretend like we're not mad and let's not treat it like it's a bad thing.
No, nothing wrong with being angry. I was actually texting with one of our speakers, Andy Blackwell, yesterday, and she was like, I'm just mad. I was like, yeah. Anger is the sweet spot to transformation. Like, it's where we go, oh, I'm done with this. I'm going to move into something else, right? Like, it really is the sweet spot to transformation. And I think that it's going to be good. I mean, I'm talking about the heart of the warrior and radical transformative leadership. It's going to be really great. And like, anyway, it's really good. And speaking of anger, you sent me a screenshot of an article from some research that Zillow did about mortgages in 2020. And the first line in the article is that Zillow did research that 20% of Black folks who applied for a mortgage were denied. Yeah. Despite their amazing credit, right?
Yeah. I mean, we need to acknowledge that they're being treated as if they were all on equal playing field, which they are, by the way.
Well, technically they're supposed to be.
Yeah. So there's so much there. One is, as an industry, we've done a horrible job of recruiting people of color, any kind of diversity, LGBTQ, it doesn't matter. We've done a horrible job. And the more we can recruit those people and the more representation we can have of all of these groups, the better chance we have that maybe this won't happen as often.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. It's like, it's been the elephant in the room this whole time we've been planning this conference. It's like, well, of course we don't discriminate. And of course we treat everybody equally. And of course, and yet all last year when you and I were trying to find people to interview for our speaker series on YouTube, like finding women of color in particular to talk about who were working in the mortgage industry, women of color, women working commercial loans, and women doing agricultural stuff was like impossible.
Yeah.
Like it's like a unicorn in a haystack.
Yeah. Well, I think the statistics are out there. The majority of loan officers, so your frontline salespeople, the people who are making the decisions and taking the applications and going after leads and finding people to do loans, are white men over 50. We're a super aging population in lending. I would venture to say in all finance, I don't know that for sure, but when I look around, that seems to be what I'm looking at. And we tend to hire people who look like us, right?
Yeah.
So I think that we really need to focus as like an area manager that I am on my recruiting. I need to focus on maybe cultivating some people that aren't typically in the industry. I'm talking about what we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
The second thing is, this is why it's so important that the basic consumer fills out the HMDA information on the bottom of the application. And
I don't know what that is. Can you say that in English?
Yeah, HMDA is just a fancy abbreviation for a government act that says that we have to figure out what race and nationality and sex each individual applicant is. A lot of people just mark unknown because they're like, we don't want to be categorized and we don't want to be tracked. But it's not for the consumer per se, it's policing us as loan officers. So without that HMDA information, we would be unable to accurately determine if we're discriminating or not. So it's super important anytime you fill out a financial form that you say what race and ethnicity you are.
Wait a minute. So this is super interesting because for people of color, this is super complicated. Like for me, as a part Native American woman, I've always defaulted to Caucasian because I'm more white than Native American. And then recently I started saying Native American because I am. And I think it would actually be helpful to have more accurate numbers about Indigenous people. And what you're saying is without that information, we can't track whether or not lending, I mean, we already know lending is racist because of redlining and all those other things that we're not.
Finance is racist overall. So yeah. So I'll give you a great example. I have some great clients, repeat clients that I love very much, and they are Mexican. Uh-huh. And their birth certificates, they are 100% Mexican. Like their parents were immigrants, both of Mexican descent. They did grow up here and are American citizens, but they're Mexican.
Yeah.
Their birth certificates here in the US said they're white.
Wow.
Let's talk
that was my great grandmother's birth certificate too. So
yeah. So let's talk about erasing ethnicities. How does that happen? How do we make ethnicities disappear as we don't call them what they are? The current HMDA information, as it's been passed through Congress, through all of the housing acts that exist, currently call North African people or people of Arabic descent white. And I think that conveniently happened right around 9/11.
Well, I mean, we've been doing this for hundreds of years. Like, come on.
Right.
Like my grandmother who's Native American is white on her birth certificate. And they tried to put white on her death certificate. And my uncle was like, no, she's Native American.
But this is my point. Just like the current article where it says that Black applicants are turned down 20% of the time, we are currently discriminating against people of Arabic descent.
Yeah,
right? 100%. So to pretend like discrimination doesn't happen, I only bring it up to say, this is how this happens. This is exactly how this happens. How we make entire races of people disappear by calling them white. We blend them in. You can't discriminate against white people per se.
Nope.
So if you don't take applications from people who wear hijabs and dress differently than you or have a different language, are you really discriminating? Because they're just white on the application. And I think we need to all think about that as we proceed through this financial world. We need to quit erasing people, and I need applicants to fill out the HMDA information at the bottom of the application. It
would help if we didn't call it HMDA. Like that's your words, but like to help
it's race and ethnicity
to help plain English for people like us who aren't in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think the encouragement is don't forget to fill out your race and ethnicity information on your mortgage forms, because it's really important for lenders to be able to, us to be able to call out racism on the table
or anything.
It's really important.
But it's also important for us as loan officers to explain to our borrowers why it's important for them to fill out that information.
Yeah.
Well, listen, they don't want to disclose it. That's their business. I don't really care. Well, maybe they don't understand the complexity of the issue, and just have a conversation with them about how important it is not to erase a race.
Well, and I think it's very important to remember that the complexity is because of tracking people and killing them. Like, it's not like the complexity is not just about identifying racism and lending. It's also about recognizing that the reason people don't want to fill out that information is because historically the government in the United States of America, when people have filled out that information, has tracked them and killed them.
Right.
Like, it is that basic.
Right.
And that's what makes it even more complex, is when we talk to people of color about why they don't fill out that information, it's self-preservation.
Mm-hmm. So when we're talking about filling out race and ethnicity on a mortgage application, those are going to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, private industry. The government does watch and track those numbers. I would hope that the world has changed enough that people can feel comfortable enough to fill that out and not feel like they're risking their safety when they do. That would be my encouragement. I mean, we all have a lot of emotional and listen, we've talked about how I feel about men sometimes. I mean, I just had a conversation with a friend of mine who said that he got some dirty look from a roommate over at the college, a female roommate. And I said, well, we don't know what happened to her. And you're a dude, like you're a guy, right? And she doesn't know you, and you guys are living and sleeping and eating in the same space. And she has no idea who you are as a human being. And you don't know what she's been through. We don't know what kind of trauma she's suffered or how men in her life treat her. And statistically, we know that men we know are the ones most likely to kill us. Right. And when I said that to him, he was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's just like if you have a male doctor, that just came out, right? Like you're 35% higher chance of being killed during a surgery than if you have a female doctor. I don't think that when we walk in our shoes as a white man, as a white woman, we often think about how we make other genders or races feel. So I don't want to be insensitive to the application issue, but I do want people to be aware that if you don't fill it out, they don't know if that loan officer or company is discriminating against you, period.
Yeah. And that makes me wonder too, if the statistics are actually higher, but we just don't know because of people's legitimate fear of tracking. Like it's a thing and we don't think about it often. As
personal data is an issue anyway,
way more complex than we think. So super interesting. The other thing that you sent me was an article from the broadsheet that is it Fortune or Forbes? I love the broadsheet. So good. And talking about this financial board in Taiwan that was like, I couldn't find any qualified women. Like
there's no qualified women.
Now, when I first looked at it, I was like, Taiwan, who cares? And then I was like, wait a minute, like, this is the ripple effect, right? Of colonialism, of oppression, of sexism, of racism, of all the things. Like that
doesn't just happen in Taiwan, right?
That matters, right? Like this ripple effect of sexism, it's everywhere. And it's like, it reminds me of when Mitt Romney was running for president and he's all, I've got binders full of women. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
That still makes me giggle when I think about it.
Like it hurts. It hurts so much that first of all, number one, that people are like, there's no qualified women. And I'm sitting here looking at this conference going, how many women do we have who are so amazing and so wonderful and who clearly qualify for boards? And also, what does it say about the financial industry that we are still in the year of our Lord 2022 going, there's no women?
Yeah, there are very few women occupy the place in C-suite and finance. It's something like.
So why are men still saying there's no qualified women, Liz?
The same reason when I called initially and said, hey, CEO of mortgage company, I'm doing this conference about women because women are paid less and women are discriminated against, because that's how this started as a woman.
Yeah.
And the people the CEOs and the executive vice presidents that I chatted with were like, oh, that's not our company. That's everybody else. But the sad part of this,
your company.
the sad part of this is that statistically, they don't have to report anything. They're all private companies. Right. Let's be real. It's just like Google and all of the other companies who did this whole inclusion thing that they were going to do, and their numbers didn't improve. Like 10 years later, they're still crap, right? But it's even worse because these public companies don't have to report the race and ethnicity and sex of their employees. This is a self-reporting thing. So it might be worse.
Oh, I'm sure it's worse. I'm sure it's worse because we had such a just in our little microcosm, had such a damn hard time. Like my favorite though was calling CEO after CEO after CEO and having them be like, oh, that's not our company. Oh, that's not our company. But if you look at the employees, it's like, it kind of is though. For real.
Yeah. And classically, the woman of color position is always the equity and inclusion position.
Oh, yeah. It's never the CEO.
It makes me nauseous.
And they're not doing anything about DEI, as per our amazing interview with Crystal Walker. That was so awesome. So check that out, y'all. It's on our YouTube channel. I'm super excited, Liz, that our conference is in 2 weeks from today. It's so exciting. Check out the lineup, y'all. I put the link to the tickets in the description of this video. Please go buy tickets. It would be super rad to see you there. Things are recorded, so if you can't be there live, you can get the recordings. Then you'll miss out on the networking, which is going to be magical and amazing. And we're super excited to have y'all. And
we are. And the networking isn't just with me and Missy. The networking is with the speakers.
With everybody.
So,
everybody who is at the conference,
coaches, CEOs of companies. It's going to be great.
Great time. Great time. Thanks, Liz. I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.